with the Soki Worship Community, and today we have my friend Cathy McGuffey here. And Cathy, I met you a few years ago for the first time, but I've gotten to know you better recently, working on you with a women's conference coming up. Can you tell us how long you've been involved in ministry or leading worship?
Well, first I want to say thank you for having me, and we all love you at our church. Thank you so much for what you do for the Lord. But I started ministry when I was about 5. I did some special singing with my family, and then when I got about 10 or 11, I started traveling with my parents. We had a singing group. There's like 10 of us kids. So we all learned harmony, most of us did, and sang a lot with our family and had a great time. And my dad was a preacher, so we did a lot of singing in the church, of course. But that was my passion at a young age, was probably when I was 5.
I can tell you've done a lot of family singing because I've met your sister too and heard you all sing together. Now, what's a song you really love to lead in worship right now? Do you have a favorite?
I actually do. It's not a new song, but The More I Seek You. For me personally, that song just gets close to me. I was telling someone the other day that when that song came out, I remember a time in my life what I was going through. And I remember going into the bedroom and just laying down on the bed, and I started that song, and I just said, the more I seek you, the more I find you. And, you know, I just want to lay my head on your shoulder, God. And I just started praying that prayer to Him. And the Lord, I just felt His sweet presence. And there was just such a peace. But for me, that song became so real that day. I needed God, and I just felt like He really just held me. So, yeah, that's one of my loves right now, and probably will be for a long time.
That's a Carrie Job song, right?
It is, Carrie Job.
That's a beautiful one. So, Cathy, how did you get started doing women's ministry?
Well, it was several years ago. We lost our daughter to acute leukemia after giving birth to our first granddaughter. And it was in that time, that dark place, where my husband and I, we really had to struggle with not our faith, but the hurt and the pain. And God had to really work inside us to heal us from that. But through all that pain and everything that we went through, it just put a passion and a compassion in me for others that have heard and experienced great loss in their life. And, you know, it's not until you walk there yourself that you can really understand what someone's going through. And so God just started to birth inside me that there was more that He wanted me to do. And we were on vacation actually in Branson, Missouri, and I was doing my devotions in the bedroom, and I was just praying that God just started just talking to me and wanted me to just step outside of my comfort zone and letting me know that He wanted to use me in a greater way to impact women and girls' lives. And I didn't know how all that was going to take place, but then, I mean, literally everything just started coming. You know, it was going to be a conference. The colors that I was to use at the conference, all these little details just started just flying out of me. And I was writing it all down as the Lord just gave it to me. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's how it started, in the bedroom there on vacation. And I came back and we had our first conference at our church called Princess of the King. And we outgrew the church, and then we started going to have them outside the church and to conference centers, and it's just grown since then.
So having gone through that strong of a loss and now ministering to women, do you have a lot of women come to you with their stories and relate to what you've been through?
I do. It's, you know, it's crazy how that God just uses pain to turn that around, and He gets glory for it. And yes, and so in this case what happened was I had a lady come up to me at the conference that I had a couple years ago, and at the break at lunch, and she said she had not came out of her house for like days because of a great loss that she had had, and said that she was reading the newspaper and saw the clip and had read about us losing our daughter. And she said she just felt like that she had to get to this conference. And God did a healing in her that day. And God restored her joy that day. And, you know, and I always say if it's for that one person out there, it's worth it. It's worth it. You know, and it helps to have a team that has passion, that gets behind and supports the ministry. And I couldn't do it without my team, the Servant's Heart team, and others that give to the ministry that helps. So you definitely, and that's just one example. There's been many others. You know, I'll leave a conference and my phone starts blowing up where they have my number and start telling me that God restored their family. He put their home, you know.
Wow.
I mean, these are big things. Maybe to some people they seem small, but they're huge. And, you know, and God does it through love and laughter. And you know, we ladies come together, we like to laugh and, you know, and have fun. But we also, there's times we just have to open our hearts up and just let God just clean us out and just fill us back up. And that's what I feel like happens at these conferences. God just takes each of us and just does a work in us so that we can go out and we can impact other lives. And that's what it's all about.
It's a lot of effort that you and your team are putting into these conferences, but when you hear those responses, I'm sure it's worth it to hear those people come to you with those stories. So, and I hear you also have done some writing for the conferences and the women's ministry.
Yes, I do a lot of specialty writing for different projects that we have. We've made some videos. And so I did one a couple years ago, Dancing in the Rain, and I had some friends of mine that just helped us put the CD together and the DVD so that we could make it. And, it's a fun video, but the song itself is powerful, and that's about dancing in the rain, because things aren't always going to go right, but it's what we do when we go through those storms. It's what we do when we cannot see the daylight from the storm clouds, and that dancing in the rain is learning to love Jesus, to love others, to love ourselves through the dark times, and to push through and not give up.
Well, Cathy, this conference is coming up in April.
Yes.
So can you tell any women out there how they can find out more about it, where it's going to be, or if they need to register online?
Okay, this conference that's coming up is April the 14th at the Nicely Conference Center. It's called Freedom Reigns. And so it's going to be cram-packed full. The doors open at 8:30 for shopping. There's going to be multiple vendors there for you ladies. So come on out and shop for Mother's Day, Easter. Yeah. And also the conference itself is going to start at 10. It goes from 10 to 3. We're going to break for lunch at 11:45 and have an awesome lunch. The tickets are $25, and that includes your lunch. So again, it's going to be at the Nicely Conference Center. And it's on April the 14th. And you can get the tickets at Lifeway. They're selling the tickets there for $25. Or you can go to CLM Ministries. So they can go to CLM Ministries Facebook page and like us there. And all the information is there also. So, and you can buy tickets online if you go to our website, clmministries.com, and you can buy the tickets there also. We got t-shirts for sale. We're taking pre-orders for t-shirts. So yeah, this is the whole deal, girls. You don't want to miss this. Besides, it's going to be awesome food, yes, we're going to laugh. We're going to have a great time. There's going to be probably 40 to 50 door prizes. Every lady that comes gets a gift. I wish everybody could see what takes place at these conferences. I guarantee you that you will leave there encouraged and inspired. And it's not anything to do with me. It's all to do with him.
And I went to one a couple of years ago, and I remember it being like really in-depth and encouraging, but we also had fun.
Yes.
It was just upbeat and positive, and we did have lots of shopping to do during the breaks. And
I love to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, and my kids, growing up with my kids and everything, we did a lot of stupid stuff. And I remember when I was being a middle child, there's 10 of us kids, so I was the beginning of the second half. So a lot of times I had to entertain myself. I was a little bit too old for my younger siblings, a little bit too young for my older siblings. And so I would just go out, and I probably started making music probably a long time before that. When I was just a kid, Mom said she'd watch me from the window, and I'd be out there just acting all crazy and making up songs. But I think that in life, this is what we have to do.
Yeah.
I think that's what we have to do. It's the joy of the Lord that's our strength. So you got to laugh. If somebody's going through a hard time, that's what I tell them. Like, you know what? Find something that you love to watch, listen to music that's encouraging, and I said, and comedy, and I said, and laugh, because laughter heals the soul. I really believe that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of humor at the conference, too.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I think
Corny humor, but it's good.
So, Cathy, you came to our worship workshop recently and kind of got to meet some of the people of the Soki worship community, and we're so excited to have you and to get some women to come out to this conference in April. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we sign off today?
The one thing I want to say is, if there's any way at all that you can come to this conference, I would encourage you to do so, but don't come alone. The best thing that we could ever do, and I really believe this $25 might be the best $25 you've ever spent, is buy a ticket for somebody else. Don't come alone. Bring your mom. Moms, bring your daughter. Bring your best friend, girls. Because it's, and the age part of it, there's different age groups that come to this. It's not just for a certain age. I'd say the youngest one actually that's there, that's going to be part of the drama that we're doing this year, is actually 7.
Wow.
So most of them are 9 or 10 years old that can really, grasp it and get a hold of everything and just really enjoy it. But we got a lot of teenagers also that come. So it really does start from teen on up that really come, and probably the most part, and then, of course, adults.
Yeah, and I remember last time, too, we had all different churches attend. So it's not just like for certain people or certain churches, it's for any women.
Yes, and that's what I love about it, because, you don't have to attend a church to attend this women's conference. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's what I'm finding out, part of the Soki worship. As we all come together, these worship leaders from different churches are coming together. And it's not about what's over the door.
Right.
It's about what God's doing in the heart and what he's doing in our community. And this is a community outreach event. So come on out, ladies. I guarantee you're going to have an awesome time. And you're going to get to see Misty doing her beautiful piano playing. But we just have so much in store, lots of surprises. That's for you all, ladies, and it's all geared to pamper you.
Well, thank you for being with us, Cathy. So we can check this out on Facebook, CLM Ministries.
Right.
And also you can check us out at the Soki Worship Community on Facebook and on www.sokiworship.com. So thank you for being with us today.